it was a good night for us. We started off shooting really well, and it kind of carried over, to everybody. Then, Trey came in, gave us a great spark on offense. We were just playing free out there, playing really free, even the games we haven't been great offensively. It's mostly because we're not just making shots, and then it kind of carries over, our energy carries over to the defensive end. But tonight it was there on both ends, and you can see the result.
The Dallas Mavericks get a dominant effort from Kristaps Porzingis to win their second game in a row without Luka Doncic after beating the absolute brakes off the Charlotte Hornets. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button right there for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. And you can catch me on your home of the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers, 105.3 The Fan. The Dallas Mavericks get a 120-96 win over the Charlotte Hornets to move to 14-13 on the season, now 7-6 at home after getting a dominant first half effort from Kristaps Porzingis, who arguably played his best game of the season. He went for 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 blocks in the first half alone, as the Dallas Mavericks were absolutely scorching from the three-point line. Got terrific efforts from guys like Trey Burke, also Dorian Finney-Smith. You name it, they were able to contribute in this game. The Mavs in the first half alone shot 63% from the field, 57% from the three-point line, and dropped 70 points on a LaMelo Ball-less Charlotte Hornets basketball team. But nonetheless, you got terrific performances from Jalen Brunson, who is in the starting lineup again with Luka Doncic being out as he continues to deal with the left ankle soreness. His status is to be determined on whether or not he will play against the Los Angeles Lakers in a nationally televised game on Wednesday. But Jalen Brunson was really good in this game, had 8 assists. Trey Burke was absolutely spectacular off the bench for the Dallas Mavericks. He went for 22 points. He was 5 of 5 and 2 of 2 from the three-point line in the first half alone. Defensively, the Dallas Mavericks got after the Hornets, holding them to just 43 points in the first half, 32% shooting overall from the field, and 26% from the three-point line. A terrific effort from a lot of different guys where the Dallas Mavericks defensively were really able to get after the Charlotte Hornets. The Dallas Mavericks in this game were able to collect 8 block shots. They were able to hold the Charlotte Hornets to under 100 points, which we know Jason Kidd loves to talk about. But more importantly, shots went down. Even your man Dorian Finney-Smith in the third quarter went off. He had 13 points in the third quarter alone, 13 of those 15 points coming in the third period. This highest scoring total for any quarter in his career, as Mavs PR told me as the game went on. The Dallas Mavericks shot 46% from the three-point line, had 28 assists on 43 field goals made, and shot nearly 52% from the field. The old adage is, it's a make or miss league. And the Dallas Mavericks have been the poster child for that so far this year. When they knock down shots, share the basketball, get out in transition as they were able to do against the Charlotte Hornets, where they had 22 fast break points, this team can be pretty good, especially when they guard on the defensive end. But more importantly now, Kristaps Porzingis continues to not only play well offensively, where he's been extremely efficient in terms of his post-up touches, but now you're seeing him become the kind of defensive anchor that we thought we could see from him if he got back to his full strength and health, and what we saw from him during his All-Star days when he was with the New York Knicks. Kristaps Porzingis had 5 blocks in this game. In fact, he almost got posterized by Miles Bridges, but he met Miles Bridges in midair and sent a shot back and really helped this Mavericks team establish an anchor in the middle, which is going to be key going forward. Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock, as they continue to share the floor together, are going to have to continue to be aggressive when it comes to their perimeter defense. You can be that kind of aggressive on your perimeter defense and guarding guys at 94 feet, half-court wise, being able to go for steals and those kinds of things because you've got an anchor and a post presence in Kristaps Porzingis who's able to handle his business. In fact, here is Kristaps Porzingis talking about the monster block that he had on the dunk attempt from Miles Bridges. It says, hey, as a shot blocker, sometimes you're going to get posterized, but in this case, I got pretty lucky. Here's what Kristaps Porzingis had to say.
Yeah, for a half a second, I was in the air and I was like, this could go really bad. But I was like, I'm already there. So just kind of, saw that I didn't jump late. If I jumped late, then it would have been probably dunk of the year because I would have lifted him up. But I jumped a bit early before him, and I was able to get it there. But those kind of, if you're on time, you have to jump. As a shot blocker, sometimes you're gonna get dunked on, but you have to jump every time if you're there on time, and that's what I did, and came out of that exchange lucky and got the block.
So give credit to Kristaps Porzingis. He continues to play well on both ends of the floor, and in a game like this where you miss Luka Doncic and obviously his playmaking ability, it is on Kristaps Porzingis to be the second best player on this team and to step up and carry the offensive scoring load while also being better on the defensive end. There's no reason why Moses Brown should outscore Kristaps Porzingis in a basketball game like he did in the Oklahoma City Thunder game where Moses Brown had 15 points and Kristaps Porzingis had 13, albeit in the win. But this game against a Charlotte Hornet team that got guys like Terry Rozier back, have guys like Gordon Hayward and others, you saw probably its most complete win of the season. When you say, Kevin, they dropped 139 on the New Orleans Pelicans not too long ago. But this was a defensive effort coupled with the offensive shot making that Mavericks fans have been wanting to see from this team throughout this season. And you got that from the three-point line. You got that from the defensive end with the 8 block shots that they had, and 5 of those coming from Kristaps Porzingis. But more importantly, you got contributions from a bunch of different guys. As I mentioned, Trey Burke was really good in this game. Jalen Brunson had 13 points and 8 assists. Tim Hardaway Jr. had 19 points. He went 5 of 11 from the three-point line. Porzingis in all of his activity, the 24 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks that he had, all came in just 25 minutes of play. This is the kind of play style that Jason Kidd has been looking for, being able to defend on the perimeter, get teams out in transition, punish them in the fast break, but then offensively being able to knock down shots. You saw dribble handoffs between Jalen Brunson and Kristaps Porzingis. You saw a lot of dribble drive and penetration from guys like Jalen Brunson and Trey Burke who were able to create for themselves, whether it be offensively in terms of shot making or in Jalen Brunson's case, the 8 assists that he had. This is the kind of complete effort that the Mavericks will need to put in night in and night out, especially once Luka Doncic comes back. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the contributions of guys like Josh Green. Give credit to Josh Green as his development continues for this Mavericks team. He had a three-pointer in this game, knocked down a baseline jumper, continues to provide energy and hustle on the defensive end, but more importantly, is starting to get an understanding of how to play the game of basketball at the NBA level, making extra passes to make his teammates better, finding good to great passes to get guys open for jump shots, second chance rebounding, all of the little things that help teams win games. Josh Green is starting to do those kinds of things with more run and more extended time in playing. I jokingly said it on the Locked On Mavericks podcast, but give some credit for Desmond Bane for coming into Dallas, embarrassing the Dallas Mavericks on his home floor where he had 29 points and 9 rebounds, and shaming potentially the Mavericks into playing Josh Green a little bit more because Green is being able to get some more opportunities. And what's been most important is the bench for the Dallas Mavericks has played extremely well. Had another 59 points in this game off the bench, did the bench unit for the Dallas Mavericks. And that, in part, is due to Josh Green, yes, Moses Brown, but more importantly, Trey Burke and others being able to score and provide the offensive punch that this team needs. This is a good sign if you're a Maverick fan going forward, who at one point the Mavericks had a 30-point lead in this game. They were able to be the aggressors, and more importantly, they show that when they move without the basketball, share the basketball, and knock down shots as a result of it, this team can be pretty good. We say, Kevin, look, they're just beating up on a bunch of bad teams. When is this team going to start performing well against better teams and better competition? And trust me, I hear you and I agree with you. The Mavericks have to prove going forward that they can beat better competition. But in this league, you've got to beat who you're supposed to beat, and for the most part, the Mavericks have done that this year. And if you can continue to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat while getting a few wins along the way against teams that you aren't necessarily quote-unquote supposed to beat, That's when things can start building in terms of the confidence for this Mavericks team. They out-rebounded the Charlotte Hornets in this game 50-38. The Charlotte Hornets went small a lot in this game, as they really don't have that kind of post presence that could really provide a defensive anchor and keep the Mavericks from penetrating and getting into the lane. And you saw how the Mavericks were able to take advantage of their matchups. The Charlotte Hornets did a lot of switching. Porzingis was able to take advantage of some mismatches, taking the ball to the basket and really put together a nice effort. The Mavericks also went 15 of 17 from the free throw line. So when they had their opportunities, they knocked down their free throws. But again, this goes back to the totality and team effort for the Mavericks in this game. Terrific shot making from a lot of different guys. Trey Burke, Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Brunson with his penetration with the 8 assists. But it all starts with Kristaps Porzingis. And this is what the Mavericks will need when Luka Doncic comes back. When Doncic comes back, the ball tends to slow down at times. I'm not sure why the on-off numbers for the Mavericks when it comes to Luka Doncic being on the floor and off the floor have been so insanely ridiculous so far this season. But at the same time, it should give you confidence that once Luka Doncic does return, whether it be against the Lakers or later on during the week, that the Mavericks are starting to figure some things out when it comes to off-ball movement, sharing the basketball, and more importantly, guys developing to become better players. Josh Green, Moses Brown being at the top of that. And Trey Burke, give him a lot of credit. The 22 points that he had was huge off the bench for the Mavericks. Being able to earn the minutes that he's earned. You didn't see much of Frank Ntilikina in this game against the Charlotte Hornets because, well, Trey Burke was balling out and scoring the basketball. And in a game where the Charlotte Hornets were small, you were able to take advantage of the penetration abilities of Jalen Brunson and also in Trey Burke. But give the Mavericks credit. They were able to handle their business against a LaMelo Ball-less Charlotte Hornet basketball team. But more importantly, they knocked down shots to give themselves a lot of confidence that going forward, this is something they can continue to build upon as far as their confidence is concerned. The Dallas Mavericks welcome in the Los Angeles Lakers to town on Wednesday. LeBron James, the reigning Western Conference Player of the Week, brings his Lakers into town in what should be a raucous atmosphere inside of the American Airlines Center. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Again, be sure to hit that subscribe button right there. For all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube, I will be live at the American Airlines Center reporting on all things for your Dallas Mavericks. This has been another episode of The Gray Area on Kevin Gray Sports. We'll talk to you later. Peace.